Hi there, Sophia here from SkinandPulp. I'm going to be speaking to Matt today from Elms Wines, and we're going to be talking about seasonal sparklers. Hi Vinologist, nice to see you. Hey Elms Wines, here you are Matt. Okay, let's add you and we can get going. We can taste it, I'm really excited about. Vinologist, are you drinking anything this evening? Hey Matt.
Hi, how are we?
All good.
Sorry about that. Technology and me, never a good pairing.
Don't worry at all. But we've got the wine to get through it.
We do, yes. yes. Hopefully everyone's ready to go.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess to kick things off, would you be able to kind of just perhaps introduce who you are and who Elms Wines is?
Yes, of course. Yeah, my name's Matt Ellis. I'm the head of marketing for Elms Wines and for Top Selection. Elms Wines was started as an online store about 18 months ago, fast-tracked by COVID, like many were. And we started it as an opportunity to bring a number of the wines that Top Selection have been representing from a trade side of things for over 20 years, but give them a sort of national showcase and give them a route to market where in the past they were very much only found in fine dining restaurants or in specialist retailers, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Yeah, and both Top Selection and Elms' ethos is to work with sort of boutique family-owned wineries, people that have a real sort of passion and make great examples of wines from their particular regions. And wines that have a certain authenticity and sustainability and, you know, just from every price range, something that when you put your nose in the glass and the liquid in your lips, then it's an enjoyable experience. So that's what 9 Elms is. As I say, we deliver nationwide. We have about 300 products on the site. Majority of them are wines that we exclusively distribute through Top Selection. But yeah, so that's it. And in the 18 months, we've had a great reception. We've got several thousand registered customers now.
Wow! I mean,
yeah, so that's very good.
All sounds good to me. So small producers, restaurant quality wine, sustainable wines as well. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Yeah. And I think as well, a great plus point for your website for 9 Elms is that these are often wines that you can't really find in other places. They're authentic.
No, exactly. There's a rarity side to them in many cases. A lot of them are, as I say, the nature of the producers. The volumes are small, and the other side of things is you won't find any of these in multiple retail, so you won't find them in supermarkets. So it's a sort of point of difference from our side of the fence there.
Okay, well, we're kicking off a series of 3 lives because we're talking about Christmas tipples, and we're going to start this week by talking about seasonal sparkling wine.
Yes.
So you've sent me 5. that
Hopefully people don't get too bored. It's a bit unfair on a Thursday night to have people watch us drink champagne and carver and all these nice festive fizzes and they not be able to join in, but we'll make it interesting.
It is Thursday, so hopefully they've got a glass of something nice in their hand as well. So if anyone is drinking something nice, please do share, and also let us know kind of what your favorite fizzes are over the Christmas season. So that would be really interesting to find that out. But yes, so Matt, what do we have? Should we just do these one by one, or do you want to give an overview?
Well, I think the overview is from the 5 wines. I've tried to pick out sparkling wines from different countries, different styles, different production methods, and as I say, from the different styles and characteristics, give an example of how and when you might enjoy them best, how to get the most out of them, and across several different price ranges.
Okay.
So I've tried to do that. So we've got something from Spain. We've got a couple of wines from Italy. We have a beautiful wine from English sparkling wine, and we've got an absolutely fantastic vintage champagne. So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if I was starting, I would probably think we should start with the Cava.
Okay, the Cava.
From Paris Balta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm doing a risky thing where I'm actually going to open these.
Are you?
Here on the live.
I cheated and opened mine beforehand. So.
Maybe I should have. But the whole experience is here tonight.
Yeah.
So also for people watching, we are doing a giveaway. So stick with us, because there's a chance for you to basically be sent one of these wines. So and a fresh one as well, not one that I've just opened. So yeah, stick with us and you'll be able probably to win one. Okay. So Matt, Cava, it has a perception in this country that I think is very unfair on the whole.
Yes, absolutely. Possibly the marketing of it, possibly the fact that there has been a glut of very cheap Cava on the market. So in some people's perceptions, it may have been devalued. But what you have to remember with Cava is that you're getting a traditional method sparkling wine that is made in a similar styles to, dare I say it, champagne. I don't want the champenoise to get upset with me, but it is. Has a second fermentation in the bottle. But it's very true to its heritage, where it comes from. Paris Balta is a great example. So based in Penedès in Catalonia, so near Barcelona. It's a family owned winery. They have several vineyards. They also have operations in other regions in Spain. Fantastic family. The third generation now, which is the Cousinet family. The husbands, who are the Cousinets, they own and manage the winery and continue the tradition, and their wives Marta and Eleanor are the winemakers.
Okay.
So it really is and sort of every part of the family is involved in the business. So, and on top of that, they have a commitment to really low intervention. It's an organic wine, biodynamic practices, vegan, ticks a lot of boxes there. And they produce several Cavas, some fantastic still wines as well. So what we have here today is the standard Cava Brut. It's just a fantastic all-round wine. Great as an aperitif, or just as, end of the day, you want a nice glass of fizz. But, as the Spanish, goes so well with food.
Yes.
It has a real freshness and acidity to it that will cut through a lot of things, cheese, canapes, smoked fish, olives, all these kind of things. Just imagine that and a chilled glass of this. And actually, it's reasonable value. It gives, well, this one is £19, but what you're getting here is an organic biodynamic wine from a family producer, and just the quality you get is superb. So it's made from 3 great varieties, and you're going to have to forgive my awful pronunciation, but it's mainly Perolada, and then there's some Macabau, and there's some Zarolo in there.
Okay.
And it has so the second fermentation, so the still wine is or the base wine is made. It then goes through another fermentation in bottle, and that is then left for about 12 months in the bottle.
Okay.
On its lees, and that creates a bit more creaminess and texture in the wine. But anyway, I'm talking. You tell me what you think about the.
Well, you said so. It's had 12 months resting on the lees. I think some champagne is rest for less time than that. So
yes, absolutely.
We've got a very complex Cava here, and it's very aromatic.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting these beautiful kind of ripe red apples. And but you also get that biscuitiness, don't you? And I guess that's
which you will, yes. And you get that little creaminess in the mouth. But what you always have is a great acidity, so it makes you return to have another glass. And I think that's what's so nice about it and why it's so, it's an all-rounder, and, any time of the year, summer, winter, but particularly it's Christmas. If you're looking for a great party fizz or something to serve instead of champagne, if you want to look for something different, it's great.
No, I agree.
I'm a big fan of Cava.
Me too.
Yeah, and there are so many different styles, and we should drink more of it.
I agree. And I think that's it. It's changing the perception from those kind of old-fashioned supermarket carvers, and knowing where this is produced, the family that are producing it, small production, they care about the grapes, like you say, it's organic, it's vegan, minimal intervention. I think the proof is in the pudding.
It's just got a lovely mousse to it as well, so it really is, it's a good way to start, and it's a good way for actually makes me want to have something to eat now. So it gets, gets the palate going.
Great aperitif. So we're ready for the next one. Lovely.
That's right. So the next wine we're going to, I think what we'll do, as we're on traditional method wines, is we're gonna fly back home. So we're going to go to the Mountfield Winery.
Oh, wow! Look at that label.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. So Mountfield Estates near Robertsbridge in East Sussex, so just a little north of Battle. And again, this is boutique. And this is new to us. It's a fantastic wine. So Simon and Lucinda Fraser, the Mountfield Estate has been has been in their in Lucinda's family, for over 100 years, 150 years. But only in 2012 did they decide, well, we're going to make some nice wine. So they planted the vines in 2012. I think the first vintage or the first wines were produced 2015. Now this is their classic cuvee. And their objective is they want to make complex, age-worthy food wines. There's no point saying you want to make a champagne. It's an English wine. It's going to have its own characteristics, but there's no denying, there's a similarity in the soils and the climate as was. And this uses traditional the traditional grapes that you would find in Champagne. So it's 40% Chardonnay, and then it's Pinot Meunier and Pinot Noir in the rest of the blend. But if this wine, we talked about 12 months on for the Cava. This is 5 years.
Wow.
This was disgorged. So this is primarily wines from a 2016 wine. It's not called a vintage because it's got some reserve wine from 2015 mixed into it. But it's a 2016 vintage provides most of the wine for this. And it was disgorged in January 2021.
Wow, that is really
yeah.
accomplished wine.
Yeah. And so when you think, a lot of people say, oh, English sparkling wine, they have this thing that they think champagne is, this luxury product, and that there's a price associated with it. But good English sparkling wines, they're the same thing. You think these people, they created the wine, they've nurtured the wine, and they haven't sold it for 5 years. They've kept it, so there's all that story behind it. It's a 3.5 hectares, so 14,000 vines. So they're never going to be huge producers. They don't want to be. What they want to do is grow the best fruit, make the best wine, and again, this is in a few restaurants, a few wine shops, but primarily in retail through 9 Elms Wines. And it's proved very popular, and we think it's fantastic. And for us to actually have a small producer, and help them come to market, it's just
That's
a good story.
So this is from East Sussex. You know, I really feel like wine consumers have gone on a journey this year and last year of English wine. I think the lockdown helped everyone explore it a bit more. People were discovering it for the first time, and they were visiting the vineyards as well, because we couldn't go anywhere else. And then we discovered all these vineyards, you know, like an hour away from us. But it's been fantastic. And I think for champagne lovers, you know, it is that kind of, that's the bridge, really. And the wines are of really high quality. I mean, this, like you say, 5 years bottle aging, you can really taste that complexity, the depth of flavors. I mean, this one, it tastes,
getting that.
I was going to say, like, it has a savory punch to it. Like, you've got like sourdough bread notes, you know, moving away from the brioche and the pastry. It's more, it has that kind of toastiness to it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, is we should celebrate English sparkling wine for what it is and not try and compare it, you know. But it's fantastic. You know, as I say, it's got a real complex feel in the mouth. It makes you want to come back for more, because it's got some, again, like all of these wines, you'll find they're really well balanced with acidity. So, you know, it's making my mouth water now. And but it's still got the fruit. So it's got the balance between the fruit, the acidity, and then the sort of texture from the time on the leaves. And as you say, that sort of brioche, sourdoughy, characteristics to it that you find in great champagne.
Yeah, I think this one has a weight to it. So this is a wine that you could drink throughout your meal, I think. And, you know, just be at the table, keep it in the fridge or an ice bucket on your table, and just literally enjoy it from the start to the finish of your meal.
Again, because this has got the complexity to take on some more serious dishes, you know. Yes, you can serve this at the start of the day. You could crack this open on Christmas morning. It'd be fantastic. Have it with your smoked salmon, have it with your canapes. But it would probably take lots of other dishes throughout the day, and it would just be something
100%
great to have.
So Nadia's asking the name of the producer. So it's Mountfield Winery, and in Robertsbridge, did you say?
So
in East
so East Sussex. So drive through Tunbridge and keep going south, and then you'll get to them before you hit the water.
And anyway, very, very stylish people. This is a great design.
You know, it is, and they do. We've just sold out, but they do a much smaller quantity of rosé as well, which is very good as well.
Awesome. Okay.
So again, it's something to keep on the radar, definitely.
Oh, how much is this bottle?
So as you'd expect, it's a little bit more than the Carver. It's £35, but you're getting a lot of wine for that, and it's
you know, I think that when you go into a supermarket, you'll often see a big brand of champagne on offer for about £30. And, you know, that is huge production. And I'm not knocking, no, big brand champagnes at all. But I mean, if you want something just a bit special, a bit different, and it's the same price, and also the champagnes that are about £30, they're usually non-vintage, blended from many years. And like you say, this has a base vintage, and it's mostly, did you say 2016? 16, right?
Yeah. So it's 95%.
And it tells the story. I really see the value in English wines. And carbon footprint, you know, we're talking a lot about that at the moment, which we should be. And these grapes were grown literally down the road in East Sussex.
Absolutely. So. And like many wineries, you know, they do some great events. They have a sort of small cellar door. So it's a lovely, relaxed kind of place. Simon and Lucinda are fantastically laid back people, but who have a real passion about the quality of what they do. But they don't have the ambitions to be, you know, the next Night Timber or anything like that. They want to make Mountfield Winery and the wines known for, you know, the passion they put into it. So
brilliant.
So if anyone's down there, I would recommend going to visit.
I haven't been, and I'm going to make the effort to go, because really good wine. Give that a go. and it's a treat, and I think it's money well spent.
Yes, I mean, yes, if we're thinking Christmas, I mean, again, I think maybe probably it's very much a food wine, but I would say if you want to treat yourself at Christmas and you're looking for an alternative, it's spot on.
Okay, the Mountfield Winery, lovely. And that was the classic brut, wasn't it?
Classic cuvee, yeah.
Classic cuvee. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, which one should we go for next?
So we're going. We can't put it off too much longer. We've got to have some champagne.
Oh, we have champagne.
Yes, exactly. So this is a stunning vintage champagne, 2013, from Champagne Brice, which is a family independent grower champagne, who have just some fantastic holdings in the and vineyards in the aptly named Boozy village of Champagne region, and they are they're known for Grand Cru vineyards. So if you think about your vineyard categorization in France, you'll have your vineyards, you'll have your Premier Crus, and then you have your Grand Crus. So this is 100% Grand Cru from the village of Boozy, 2013. This one is Pinot Noir dominated, so 80% Pinot Noir, 20% Chardonnay. So again, you'll get a different characteristic to the mouthfeel, but it's had a similar time on its lees, and the original fermentation in large oak barrels. So you'll get that little bit of characteristic come through, but being Pinot Noir dominated, you'll have a slightly different flavour profile.
Oh, I'm already smelling red berries, like strawberries.
Yes, exactly. But this is an incredibly stylish wine. It's very Moorish, and however patriotic I am, I have to say chapeau. They make a superb wine, and from my point of view, you can spend a lot of money on vintage champagnes. You can spend a lot of money on Grand Marque vintage champagnes, and for £48 for a 2013 vintage champagne from Grand Cru vineyards as well.
Wow.
This isn't from their best vineyards. It is just a stunning wine. And then you want to talk about production and being boutique again. I mean, many champagne houses make millions and millions of bottles a year of the different cuvées. Well, Brice in total make about, I think it's about 100,000 bottles a year, of which their vintage champagne, I think it's not many, it's about 5,000 or 6,000 bottles. Wow. So I think if you have a bottle of this or a case of this or however much you stash away, it's just one of those things where, not many other people are going to have it. You're getting what you're paying for is what's in the bottle.
Yeah.
And the care and the family love and the family style.
That's a great point. And it's all the fruit estate grown, so it's all from
yes, absolutely. It's their own Grand Cru vineyards.
That's the thing. Lots of people don't realise that the Grand Marque champagne houses, they use fruit from all over the region. Yes. Like fantastic growers. They use the best of the best. It's not all of the grapes in this bottle are from the estate, which again tells you a story of terroir and a story of their production and of their quality control. I think that's really special.
No, it's fantastic. I think the Brice family have 25 hectares, 17 of which are Grand Cru vineyards. So they're operating at that end, and they do some other great cuvées. They do a traditional non-vintage. They do a fantastic or a couple of fantastic rosés as well.
Wow. I mean, I just love the name.
Yes.
Boozy.
Yeah. And to me, this is definitely, without doubt, a very special bottle to have and to share. Either, if you want to gift it, but I would be drinking this on Christmas Day. I think if I had a few bottles of Mountfield, a few bottles of Brice lying around, and all of these maybe, but it would be a very good Christmas. But the thing with that is it will go very well with with rich dishes. It's got the complexity to take on
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on, go on.
Well, I was just getting excited about the different flavors. So I feel like in comparison, this one has, like you said, because it's been aged in oak for a little bit, so it has that oakiness, but a nuttiness. There's much more of a nutty characteristic in this one.
There is, and you're getting more of the characteristics of the Pinot Noir coming through.
Yes, yeah.
You know, dominated, and but again, it's that cream, it's that mouth coating texture. It's wonderful. You know, really lovely petulance to it. It's just, you know, coating the mouth again. And, you know, if you're putting out some nice seafood or lobster or whatever, that if you're really being decadent over Christmas, this is the one for you.
Ooh, especially with those creamy sauces, because I think
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, this has
right.
has a really lovely like mid-palate weight to it, which I think will carry kind of, like you say, richer dishes, creamy sauces, things like that.
No, so superb. So, as I say, I mean, we've got through 3 of them, but there were 3 wines I wanted to show that were traditional methods from different parts of the world.
Yeah,
have their own characteristic, all from sort of boutique family-owned producers. And just showing the quality that's available. I mean, so as I say, yes, you won't get any better vintage champagne for the price, I don't think. I mean, it's just stunning. Yeah, and also, there's a finite amount to it as well. It's not as though they can go into years and years of reserves or get fruit from other growers to make more. It's what it is.
I think this is a good point, you know, to this whole thing, introducing people to the wines that you sell at 9 Elms, because they are different, they are special, and it just, you know, adds something to the occasion, doesn't it, of Christmas and New Year. Yeah,
and in many ways, you're more likely to come across these in a restaurant than you are somewhere else at the moment, which might be quite a nice thing if you...
if you're a foodie, definitely. And also for a gift, these are wines that aren't just something that you can just pick up a shelf in a supermarket, so they make really good gifts.
And they're all wines you could serve with utter confidence. I know another thing is, I'll ask a lot of questions there, there's the slight doubt, and often when you're looking at a wall of wines in a shop, you go for the brand or the champagne because it's a safe option. But actually, just to have a little bit more, belief, and these are, there are a lot of great sparkling wines out there. So
that's it.
And try them. No,
Moving
on. So where we're going to go now is the last 2 wines are from Italy, and purely because it's still a dry wine, we are going to do, the Prosecco Rosé. So this is a relatively new thing, a Prosecco Rosé DOC. I think it's about a year or so old that you were actually allowed to put the Prosecco name on a rosé. There were plenty of pink sort of sparkling wines from that region. So we're talking now, I'm sure most of you know, but we're now talking sort of northeast Italy, Veneto region, but this in particular, Villa da Fanta, comes from, again, you're going to have to ignore my pronunciation, but the Conegliano region, which is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And Villa Fanta is only a 6-hectare estate. So, and it's owned by the Serena family, who have a wider, they're a large but family-owned wine company that make a lot of wines in the area. But Villa Fanta is their premier estate, and it's the estate wines. So everything here is estate-grown fruit. It's from fantastic region, or the best region for Glera, and this is I think 88% Glera and 12% Pinot Noir, or Pinot Nero as they call it, but
Yes.
but Pinot Noir. Difference being to some of the wines we've tasted so far is this again is a different method of production. So it has a second fermentation, but it is fermentation takes place in a tank. And then it is bottled after that, rather than second fermentation in bottle. Everyone knows the popularity of Prosecco. Everybody knows You Can't Move. Kylie's got them. I mean, it's everywhere. So there's no point trying to talk it up. But in my view, there's Prosecco and there's Prosecco.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
And this is the latter. This is
Prosecco.
Yeah, Prosecco. I mean, you still get the enjoyment out of it that you would get, and it's a very versatile wine. But it's a lovely, just a lovely soft pink colour.
Yeah,
great mousse on it.
I would say, first of all, the colour is beautiful because I've tried a few rosé Proseccos and a lot of them are kind of candy pink or a bit darker. And, you know, the colour, we all know the colour doesn't mean anything about the taste. So it can be, both be as dry as each other. But, you know, the colour is, what is it? Your eyes are the first part of your digestion. Or something like that. So we eat with our eyes first, don't we?
Absolutely. And you just pour it into the glass and you get that lovely fizz and the lovely colour. But again here, you know, you're getting the characteristics of a good Prosecco, the lovely fruit characteristics you get from it, the lightness, that's fantastic. But because you've got the Pinot Noir in it, the edge, you're getting some of that red fruit, strawberry, raspberry, a little bit of creaminess. And I just think, well, you should be drinking this anytime, but it's
a fun wine. And also, but like you said, it's the latter Prosecco. It's Prosecco. It's still, it's still complex in its own way, but it's a good Prosecco. It's not just
no, exactly. Yeah, there's a bit more to it. You know, it lingers a bit more in the mouth. Again, great with food. In fact, you know, it's not just really an aperitif wine. I mean, this would go with your canapes and your smoked salmons, but actually it would go with prosciutto and antipasta and all those kind of things. You know, because it's got the acidity to cut through it. I just think great. But at the end of the day, this is a really good party wine. This is a good hosting wine. Good. You know, why not start Christmas Day with it? It's it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell my friends, you know, it doesn't mean that champagne is better than Prosecco, or they're different. They're just different drinks, and they all have their place. And I think for something, and some people just prefer the cleanness and the crispness and the purity of fruit that comes with Prosecco.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the biscuity, leesy flavour, which you get with champagne.
You are quite. I mean, you're absolutely spot on there. You know, different people have, you know, get enjoyment from different styles of wine, and on different occasions. And this, you know, is a great example of just a really well made pink Prosecco.
I agree. And another stylish bottle as well. I mean, all of these bottles.
There is kind of method in our madness when we sort of select or buy our wines. We do, you know, there has, as you say, you buy with your eyes. There has to be a shelf appeal, and again, it's the nature of the people behind these wines as well. You know, they're their pride and joys. They take, you know, great care over them and want them presented the best they can be. But yeah, I mean, I you know, I'm not snobby about Prosecco at all, and it will be a crowd pleaser at a drinks party. So
yeah, I think perfect for welcoming guests, getting the party started. But as you say, if you want to take it throughout the whole meal, it's complex enough to do that, and the freshness is just so lovely. I think it's one of those that it just cleanses the palate after every sip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely.
And again, and it's dry, but it's got a little bit more. And I think that's often the thing with Prosecco is, whilst a lot of them are classed as dry, they have a little bit more residual sugar in them. And that sweetness just offsets some of the characteristics that people might not like in the drier carvers or English sparklings or the champagnes. That's why this has such broad appeal, because it's just easier for people to drink. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, we're on to our fifth and final wine.
We are on to the fifth and final one. You need a corkscrew for this one.
I do, and I have one next to me.
Yeah.
So I'll open this while you explain.
Yeah, so this is Moscato d'Asti, not to be confused with Asti Spumante, which a lot of people will know. And this, technically, I would say it's not sparkling, it's a frizzante. So it's a less sparkly, fizzy, frizzy, as frizzante would suggest.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's a corkscrew.
Yes, which is because the bar pressure is half of a sparkling wine. So, but this is, so Asti is northwest Italy, think Piedmont. Think Barolo and things like this, and those lovely red wines that you find up there. And then you have this wine. So it's made from Moscato Bianco, which is
Should I be scared at popping this?
No. It might make a little sound, but it won't go crazy. Not unless you've been shaking it. But it's a very aromatic grape variety, and again a different method. So this only has one fermentation. It's called the Asti method. So the grape must is fermented in a pressurized tank, but that is at low temperatures. So that is to keep the characteristics of the grape varietal. So Moscato, a really grapey grape, if you know what I mean. It's
I think it's the only grape that has that characteristic.
Yeah. And fermentation is stopped to keep a sweetness in there. So this is, well, there's two ways of looking at this. It's only 5% alcohol.
Wow.
So this could be your breakfast fizz in a sort of quirky way. It's not, and it's not going to really do. But actually, you know, traditionally this is a dessert, or think cake, think panettone, think almond sweets, think Italians in cafes having an afternoon cake. This is just a fantastic thing to go with it. It's not overly sweet, so it doesn't. But yeah, and it's really aromatic. Got some great grapey and citrusy characteristics, floral characteristics. Almost, you might get a little hint of herbs, a bit of sage in it, that kind of thing. But very popular in Italy.
It's lovely. You know, I think, especially the American market, they have a real thing about Moscato, and there's a snobbiness about it. But Moscato as a grape, it's one of the oldest grape varieties in the world. Yeah. And we're talking about Moscato from Asti here, which is not, but they know how to do it. Asti, DOCG wine, the highest classification. This is not Moscato as you might know it in America.
No, exactly. And the producer, the Cantina Tommaso Gianarlo, they are again a small family winery. So they don't actually own any vineyards, but they've been going since 1930, originally to make wines for their restaurant and for friends only. So they've got relationships with growers, and they make a fantastic range of Piedmonte and wines from the region, and they do a lovely, really good value Barolo and things like that as well. But this is fantastic, and this isn't just for desserts or sweet food. Thai food, and anything with a little bit of spice, you know. That sweetness is going to counteract some of the heat and the spice, but it's actually going to complement it rather than, kill it all. So, and again, very small production, very hands-on, the family, and it's a very popular wine. The thing about it, and it's got a bit of a carver issue, is, as you say, people have preconception, or they confuse it with other spumantes and just think, oh, it's cheap, sweet wine. Well, you know.
Well, it ain't.
It's not.
This is a prime example, a premium example of how fantastic Moscato can be. So Frederick is saying, I like Moscato. He's
yes, good.
Yes, good. I think you have to be in the know. So that's why we're having these conversations. Oh, Frederick's asking a very important question. How much? I think
it's about £18. So it's not
18. Yeah.
Not cheap, but it's honestly, it's a great bottle to have, very enjoyable, and you won't. I don't think you'll worry about the price when you drink it or have it.
I think. And again, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, for people who might not be so au fait with wines and choosing wines, whenever you see a DOCG on the label, it's the highest classification of Italian wine. So you're in really good hands here with a wine like this. Yeah,
and it's something different. People wouldn't necessarily think of it, but if you're, you think of Christmas with lots of rich foods, you make curries and stir fries with leftovers, you have lots of cake, lots of mince pies, lots of this is a crowd pleaser. And as you say, being 5% low alcohol, you're not going to get any family member having a bit too much on this and causing a drama. So, and just really a very pleasant drink.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's a huge trend for low alcohol wines now. And also you can alternate. You can have a few glasses of something else, and then, to lighten the load a little bit, have a few glasses of this, keep it on 5%. But it's so versatile because it's got a lovely acidity to it. It's not too sharp, but it's fresh still. It's not cloying. So you can, like you say, have it with some savory foods as well. Like, it's a lovely aperitif. If someone, if someone gives me a glass of that with some nuts and olives and stuff, that's just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, apparently, I was looking into it. The history of Moscato d'Asti was very much the workers' wine. So it was something they had at lunchtime, but obviously it wasn't something that needed to be too strong, so they could get on with work in the afternoon. So
that's the way,
That's right. That's why I said it's a breakfast wine in many ways, but I shouldn't say that. That's irresponsible.
No, well, Christmas Day.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the 5. Hopefully, it's given them a nice diverse view on some sparkling wines and how people can enjoy them.
Definitely. Yeah. So price wise, we've got, did you say 18?
Yes.
For this one?
Yeah, 18.49.
We said the Prosecco. How much is the Prosecco?
Prosecco's 16.
16. Okay, cool. And then we had this
yes, that's 48.
48, yes.
Yes, for the vintage Grand Cru. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And we've got this
35 for the Mountfield English Sparkling.
And Cava.
That's 19, I believe.
Lovely. And these are all wines that you'll find in restaurants. You won't find them in the supermarkets.
No.
And they're all special. And as we were discussing before, would make amazing gifts as well, because they're
I think so.
Unique. Yeah, small production.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
No,
Nadia says she's curious about the Mountfield Sparkling and the Moscato d'Asti. Ooh, okay. No. Well, I'm going to save this to my IGTV. Actually, Nadia, you've been here from the beginning, and I did say in my post that you will be rewarded if you join us live. So let us know which wine you would like to have. We're doing a giveaway. So out of the 5, which one floats your boat? Let us know, or let me know afterwards if but fantastic. So we had some new joiners, but so I'm going to save the video to IGTV, so if people have just joined, they can watch it from the beginning. And also I have a discount code for purchases from the website. So
yes, indeed,
SkinandPulp 10.
SkinandPulp 10, yes, very inventive. But if you entered that at checkout, so go to 9elmswines.co.uk, have a browse around. There's plenty of nice things on there. And all of these wines are available on the site and in stock. And we can deliver anywhere in the UK. So, you know, use the discount code.
Oh, Nadia says, oh, brilliant. Which one, Nadia? Which one do you really like the sound of? And we'll send a bottle on to you. Oh, Frederick's saying discount for Black Friday. I think, well, you've got the 10% with my code. So head on over. To the website. I'll put all the links on my my post that I'm just.
So I was going to say, so the discount, because we're doing a series of these talks, aren't we? Which I'm looking forward to very much. The discount's available up to Christmas. So
yeah,
you know.
Oh, awesome! I think I might be using that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, Nadia says the Mountfield, as she's always curious about discovering more English wines.
My pleasure.
Awesome. Well, yeah, well, you've got a bottle on its way. I'll grab your address in the DMs in a bit.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Matt. That's been so insightful. I am definitely going to have a lovely couple of days now.
Yeah, enjoy working your way through those.
Thank you so much.
Tough work.
And will we see you next Thursday?
You will indeed. You will indeed. I think you've got me for all three. So.
Oh, great. Okay. So we're going for winter warm.
No. We're going to do some classic alternatives to classic Christmas wines. So we're going to look at still wines. So if you love your Bordeaux or your Burgundy, we'll look at a couple of those, but we'll look at some alternatives from other parts of the world that you might want to try as well. So.
Oh, Ian, are you UK based, Ian? He said, thank you both, I need a drink now. Join us next time and you'll be in with a chance to win more wine. Because we're going to be away every week. Okay, great. I can't wait to see you next week for the classic alternatives. That sounds great. And have a lovely evening. And thank
you very much. And thank you everyone who watched.
Yes, thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.